Let's turn our attention to the women's game right now. And one of my favorite human beings on the planet, as a colleague of mine from the NFL Media Group, but I'm introducing her as the third overall pick of the 2002 WNBA draft to the Washington Mystics, and whose number 21 hangs in the rafters at Oklahoma next to that of Mookie Blaylocks and Stacey Kings and Wayman Tisdale's, the great Stacey Dales.
Yeah.
How are you, Stacey?
What's up? You're equally one of my favorite people in the world, Rich, and I'm getting ready for the solar eclipse, man.
Okay, hang in there. Don't look directly at it, but you knew that already.
Yeah.
So your 2 cents on Caitlin Clark's legacy now that it does not include a national championship, Stacey.
Yeah, the legacy's just really, she's in the middle of it, Rich. I mean, it's far from over. What a delight to watch this young woman play the game of basketball. I don't know about you, but when I watch, I've been marveling at her for years. Like, she'll make a near half-court shot, Rich, and I just start laughing. I start giggling. Because I don't know about you guys when you watch this player, but you know, a long time ago, Rich, you know, we were both at ESPN, the worldwide leader, and I had a boss who in one of our college basketball meetings said, you know, I caution you to use the word unbelievable. Please, we overuse it. Please don't use it. Please don't use it. Only use it when it matters. And I use that word for her because I've never forgotten that. And I try to avoid that type of hyperbole in our business. And she's unbelievable, Rich. So her legacy's just be really in the midst of it. And, you know, there's no wasted space. There's no wasted movement. She's incredibly efficient. You know, she rejuvenates herself on the defensive side. I understand. But boy, she is something to behold when she is able to, you know, take all that work that she's put in, because you don't just show up, Rich, and you know, give us those Steph Curry looks. In terms of how she shoots the basketball. You don't just show up and do that from day one. And as I've maintained, Lisa Bluter, her coach, who's one of my favorite coaches in women's basketball and has been for a long time at Iowa, you know, I really applaud her, because imagine having a freshman, Rich, walk into your gym and start taking logo threes as a young player. I mean, I've had a lot of coaches, a lot of my pro coaches would have been like, Dales, yo, that ain't happening. And Lisa has allowed her to be her, and I just think it's sensational what she's brought to the game.
Yeah, I giggle and laugh too. I have the same reaction too, Stacey, because you know the rim seems to suck the basketball in. You know what I mean? Like it just I don't know if it's the rotation, if it's the way she shoots. It's a way, you know, that you see with somebody like Curry, right? Like the ball just gets sucked in. Right into the net that doesn't even move when she shoots the three.
And again, you don't, to be able to do that, that takes an incredible, like when I played, Rich, the motto was get those toes as close to the 3-point line as you can, because obviously the closer to the basket you are, the more efficient you are. Feels like when I watch her, she's more efficient the farther away she is. And it's just so fascinating to watch defensively what people have tried to do against her. I thought Connecticut really, Nika Mule had the best I've seen all season long. And I think Caitlin, even the broadcast shared, I don't know if it was Ryan Rucco or Rebecca Lobo, who and Holly Rowe just did such an incredible job. But, you know, that she may have said UConn defended her as well, and maybe West Virginia as well as anybody really ever has. And you have to face guard her when you are out at the midpoint of the court, Rich. I mean, I had a coach, Michael Adams, in the WNBA, who's also a former player, great guy. And he and I used to play one-on-one all the time in the off season when I played for the Mystics. And he always did this thing to me, right? This I don't know why players don't do that, because it's incredibly annoying, but you have to do that to her. You have to constantly have your hand right here. And then the energy it takes to defend her. I've never seen a player like it, honestly. I've never seen a women's player like it. Now, people want to have the greatest of all time conversations, all that. I remember being at the Super Bowl, Lindsey Vonn and Rich, somebody we love, and we had a conversation about the GOAT, and everybody has different interpretations of it. She's absolutely in the conversation. When Dawn Staley comes out in her celebratory interview post-game with Holly Rowe, which was so incredible, that's a whole other conversation.
Yep.
She comes out and uh, gives credit to Caitlin Clark, who's back in the locker room. Um, God knows what, I remember losing the national championship game against Connecticut, and I saved my tears so nobody could see them. But for Dawn to come out and say she's just brought so much to this game and she is one of the goats of our game, need anybody say more?
Stacey Dale's here on the Rich Eisen Show. So, what can you say about Dawn Staley that potentially we don't already know about? You're already hearing conversations about how the Charlotte Hornets should be knocking on her door. So what do you think, Stacey?
She's a flat out winner. Wherever she goes, you're gonna win. It's just like Becky Hammon, who, by the way, was a great shooter. Oh my God. Dawn is one of the greatest competitors I've ever had to look into the eyes of, Rich. I did have the fortune of playing against her, and even if it was her tail end years professionally, she just looks at you on the court, and there's something different about her. It's like she wants to put the fear of God in you. I mean, Dawn Staley is fierce, and what she did, I know they get 5-star recruits there at South Carolina. Guess why? Who doesn't want to go play for Dawn Staley? Just like who doesn't want to go play for Gino Auriemma or Pat Summitt, right? Like the legendary, the late great Pat Summitt. I just think she is, whether she played the game, she was a coach on the floor, and to see her and now with 3 national championships, she deserves every bit of it. That was the right team to win. They had the most complete team, South Carolina over Iowa. And they were so deep. This full Wiley kid is going to be just spectacular to watch for the next several years as a freshman. I just think Dawn, and then everything Dawn represents, she's just class all the way. She's special, Rich. She's really special.
Well, we're seeing a lot of special right now out of the women's game. Stacey Dale's here on the Rich Eisen Show. So what is the challenge for Caitlin Clark now, moving to the next level?
Well, blending into the locker room. She's not going to have a problem offensively. In the WNBA, the level of basketball, Rich, it's just, it's the pros. I mean, everybody you're coming up against is the same size or bigger than you. And, I had to figure out ways to become more clever as a player. It's going to be for her defensively. I mean, it's simple as that. I mean, you'll get your ego checked defensively in the WNBA very quickly, and you can't always take breaks defensively, because when you face the Las Vegas Aces, every single player will dominate you at any given point. So I think that's probably going to be the adjustment, really, for any rookie coming into the league, just like we see in the NFL. And it's going to be fun to watch. She's going to continue to bring attention to the game. I think I kind of get shocked, Rich, when I hear negativity around this player. There are so many great women's basketball players, Juju and Angel, and there's just so many. Beckers, like, how is there any negativity surrounding Caitlin Clark? What she's actually done is she's forced us to take a deeper dive into the history of women's basketball and have these conversations about the greatest players we've ever seen. Whether it be Shamika Holtzclaw or Tamika Catchings, Elisa Leslie, Dawn Staley, go back in time, like Nancy Lieberman, Cheryl Miller, Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird. I mean, I could go on and on and on, and now we're seeing Asia Jones, or my girl Asia out in Las Vegas. Like, I think she's just continued to force people to understand that this is a really great sport, and there's just so many champions of the sport. And I love how she's represented herself along the way.
Well, I mean, I'm just wondering, and before I let you go here, Stacey, if we've seen a sea change here in respect for the women's game right now, with the ratings that we just saw over the weekend. I mean, SNL even made a joke about the men's college basketball bracket isn't as interesting as the women's. I'm wondering if you see it, or you think we have seen something different right now.
I don't know if we're seeing a total change here, and I meant Asia Wilson, by the way. I played with Asia Jones. I think what we're just seeing, Rich, is just how good the basketball is because the eyeballs are on it. You know, when I played, we didn't have all the social media and all the national attention from a television standpoint. It's been there on the men's side for a very long time. So, I mean, I can't wait to watch this game tonight between Connecticut and Purdue. By the way, Danny Hurley is just kind of reminds me a little bit of Mike McDaniel, Rich. He's just got that sort of swag about him. I don't know. But yeah, I just think there's just, when you have players like this, they're transcendent, of course. What she did for that program at Iowa it's incredible. I mean, to go to back-to-back national championships, I think what she also does is says to not just young female players, but young male players, like, I got to figure out how to shoot like that. And so they're in gyms working on that stuff right now. And that means that those kids coming up are going to be able to do, you know, the more we see this, the more they're going to be able to do it. And it's just a wonderful domino effect. So I think, yeah, there's going to be a lot of change because of Caitlin Clark. But there's certainly been a lot of great players along the way. I mean, I don't think you're going to pick a better point guard than Sue Bird on a basketball team. Like there's been so many greats, and hopefully we'll see more to come. I think it's awesome.
You're the best, Stacey. Have you on before the draft talking about the Bears, but I've run out of time just talking about college basketball with you. I love it, and we'll find out if your McDaniel Hurley analogy is correct. If he shows up wearing capri pants tonight, that would be great.
I don't know about that, but you know how I feel about you,
Right back
Rich.
at you.
Love you.
Right back at you, Stace. We'll chat in the next couple weeks. Take care. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.